Govindraju. I'm studying in your college in first year CSC. Today my topic is destinies of charge carriers in semiconductors. Today, today my outline: introduction to incident semiconductors, band structure of incident semiconductors, electron and hole concentration, temperature dependence, effect of band gap energy, factor affecting on it, applications of incident semiconductor. Conclusion. First of all, introduction to incident semiconductor, density of charge carriers. First of all, semiconductors. Semiconductors are the conductors which can carry say electric through it. And incident semiconductors are pure semiconductors, materials which cannot liberate impurities. The density of the charge carriers in an incident semiconductor is determined by its temperature. At absolute zero, the density of a charge carriers in an incident semiconductor is extremely low. Band structure of incident semiconductor. Incident semiconductor have a band gap that separates the valency band and conduction bands. At absolute zero, the valency band is fully occupied and the conduction band is empty. Thermal energy can be exerted electron from the valency band to the conduction band. Electron and hole concentrations of incident semiconductor. In the incident semiconductors, the electrons and the concentrations are equal to any given temperature, and these conductors, the density charges increases with the temperature due to the thermal excitation. The relationship between the electron and the hole concentration can be described by the law of mass action. Temperature dependence of a charge carrier's density. As the temperature of incident semiconductor increases, the density of the charge carriers also increases, and this is proportional. The relationship between the temperature and the charge carrier's density can be described by the exponential relationship given by incident semiconductors. This equation, the incident carrier's concentration equation, takes into account to band gap energy and effective mass of charge carriers. Calculation of incident carrier concentration. The incident carrier's concentration in a semiconductor can be calculated by using this formula: Ni equals to SQRT into Nc. Effect of band gap energy of a charge carrier's density. The band gap energy of incident semiconductors are affected density of charge carriers. A large band gap energy results in lower incident carriers concentration at a given temperature, and the band gap energy also influences the conductivity of an incident semiconductor. And factor affecting charge carriers density in incident semiconductor. The mainly affected charges are temperature, band gap, and effective charge carriers are key points affecting the charge carriers in semiconductors, and these conductors are crucial role in determining the electrical properties. And understanding the factor influencing charge carriers density is essential for designing semiconductor devices such as electrical characteristics, and these conductors are also used in our daily lives. The relationship between the charge carrier density and electrical conductivity. What is we think about that? The density of a charge carriers in incident semiconductors or impacts that electron conductivity. Higher charge carrier density leads to a higher electric conductivity of semiconductors, and the conductivity of a incident semiconductor can be modulated of controlling density charges through doping or a temperature adjustments. Applications of incident semiconductors. Yes, the density of charge can be crucial various electronic devices such as diodes, transistors, and solar cells, and these are used in laboratory equipments also. Understanding and controlling this density of a charge carrier is essential for optimizing devices performance. And research and development of efforts continue to focus on analyzing properties of incident semiconductor advanced to semiconductor applications. And conclusion, I have concluded that incident semiconductor plays a vital role in a modern electronics due to the unique electron properties. The density of a charge carriers in semiconductor influenced by temperature band gap and the effect of a mass charges. Further research into semiconductor materials and their charge carriers density is essential to advance semiconductors and creating more effectively electronic devices. Thank you, madam.